This is especially traumatic for me because I was actually on the island with them. Yeah, I was one of the boys on the island, and it was pretty tough, you know, to make things go by and make it a little easier. We used to sing. That's how we got through it, and you know, to honor our time on the island, I'd like to sing that song for you guys right now. I'm an island boy, just trying to make it. Said I'm an island boy, I'm a Jakiwaiguan. And that's as far as we got. We were pretty busy the rest of the time. I know, sometimes I'll perform in front of the White House and the Capitol and stuff, and people will be like, are you scared? Are you scared to perform in front of the Capitol and the White House? I'm a white man. Like, these buildings were made in my honor. Are you kidding me? This is an example of using white privilege for good, because I think, you know, nothing's really going to happen. Yeah, no, I'm actually pretty famous on TikTok, because I'm sure, as you guys can tell, I'm good for about 15 seconds at a time.
Comedian John Jacobs had some fun at the Capitol. Meanwhile, inside...
Let me ask you something else. There's been public reporting that Jeffrey Epstein showed people photos of President Trump with half-naked young women. Do you know if the FBI found those photographs in their search of Jeffrey Epstein's safe or premises or otherwise? Have you seen any such thing?
You know, Senator Whitehouse, you sit here and make salacious remarks, once again trying to slander President Trump left and right, when you're the one who was taking money from one of Epstein's closest confidants, I believe, I could be wrong, correct me, Reid Hoffman, who was with Jeffrey Epstein on multiple occasions. And the senator sitting right next to you tried to block the flight logs from being released. Yet you're grilling me on President Trump and some photograph with Epstein? Come on.
The question is, did the FBI find those photographs that have been discussed publicly by a witness who claimed Jeffrey Epstein showed them to him? You don't know anything about that. Okay.
What smells like a cover-up continues taking place.
In February, you made a public claim that the Epstein client list was, quote, sitting on my desk right now for review, end of quote. You then produced already public information and no client list at a major media event hosted at the White House. Attorney General Bondi, why did you publicly claim to have the Epstein client list waiting for your review and then produce nothing relevant to that claim?
Senator Durbin, if you listen to my entire clip on that, I said I had not reviewed it yet, that it was sitting on my desk along with the JFK files, the Martin Luther King files, and I said I had not yet reviewed it. And if you see our memo on Epstein, you will see, excuse me, our memo on Epstein clearly points out that there was no client list, our July 6th memo.
Because the party that claimed to fight child trafficking is not only moving the goalposts, but signing legislation enabling it per watchdog groups.
Say it. The Supreme Court is back, and they rejected today an appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance of getting out of prison is a pardon from you. Is that something you're...
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
You know, I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to appeal her conviction.
And what happened?
They said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I see. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. So, but I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be a candidate for clemency, sir?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
But she was convicted of child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at it. I'd have to ask DOJ. I didn't know they rejected it. I didn't know she was even asking for it, frankly.
He absolutely did. Let's not play dumb. Ro Khanna tweeted above the video, Maxwell is a convicted sex trafficker. The idea that Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance would even consider providing cover for a pedo is a slap in the face to survivors. They are not a hoax.
At the same time, the number 2 at the Department of Justice, Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's former defense attorney, is actively in Tallahassee, to our understanding, still, at this current moment, meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell. Of course, this is happening in private confines. This is not happening at the jail. It's happening at the federal courthouse there. And it is not clear whether the Department of Justice will release a transcript of his meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell or what evidence or what testimony they will choose to provide to the American public. And, of course, whether Ghislaine Maxwell is to be trusted in this situation or not, or is she looking for a reduced prison sentence, for instance. The president, for his part, he's been posting on social media about effectively everything but this, which is natural. He is the president of the United States. And yet there are still, we are learning more in real time about the relationship of Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump, and the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was at his wedding in 1993 with Marla Maples. We are learning that in the case of how their relationship ended, there are still serious questions. The White House has insisted that Donald Trump was the one, Katie, that cut off the relationship because he determined that Epstein was a crook. But in a conversation that I had with Mark Epstein, the brother of Jeffrey Epstein, in his tellings, he said that his brother Jeffrey told him that he was the one that cut off the relationship between the two men, the long-standing friendship, because he had determined that Donald Trump was a crook.
On that previous point of the administration not caring about human trafficking and the abuse of the underage, via the Louisiana Illuminator, the State Department's Office to Monitor and Combat Trafficking in Persons, or TIP, was gutted on July the 11th. The department's team worked to combat labor and sex trafficking abroad and help coordinate domestic efforts across other agencies, including the Departments of Justice, Health and Human Services, and Labor. The next paragraph would read as follows. The so-called reduction in force at the State Department came amid a maelstrom surrounding the Trump admin over its handling of federal investigations into Jeffrey Epstein. Recently, The Guardian reported anti-trafficking groups across the U.S. have sent Congress a letter that raises alarms about the admin's failure to release $88 million in funding to protect survivors of human trafficking. The letter came from 74 legal, religious, and advocacy groups say that the U.S. DOJ has frozen funding for more than 100 service organizations across the country that would help victims escape their traffickers and gain access to the services and support that they need to survive. Here's what gets me about all this, all right? And it's not very difficult to understand. They are keeping the government shut down for a multitude of reasons. But one of them, it seems abundantly clear, at least two of them, is to not swear in an elected member of Congress. And the second is to continue blocking the release of the Epstein files. It is clear. You cannot say, for all of you schmooanoners, that you really have to get these people in positions of power and into elected office because they are going to get down to human trafficking and sex trafficking, and we're going to protect the kids, and we're going to protect the minors. And now they won't tell you who was doing it. It can't be more obvious than this, right? Like when, I know we covered it a few months ago, but we have to keep revisiting this over and over and over again because the Republicans don't want you to know who is on the list. Why? Why don't they want you to know? Why is Pam Bondi not answering direct questions about the president being on the list? Why is Kash Patel not answering direct questions about the president being on the list? Look, to the schmooanoners, I know you're probably not going to ever see our stuff. That's okay. But if you are watching, you guys are solving riddles that don't even exist off of moons and math, but you can't even use direct logic. I mean, what is it going to take at this point?